In this episode of Getting Geeky with Gamer Life, I sit down with the creator of Robogram, the programming card game Reloaded, to talk all about Robogram and the great game that it is. So if you like it, make sure you stick around and come back after, or you can just click on over right now and find out what's great about Robogram and back it on the Kickstarters. And then after this great interview with the creator, we'll go ahead and dive into our Kickstarter Corner. So you'll want to stay tuned for that as well. This episode of Getting Geeky with Gamer Life is proudly being powered by Rotunda-Last Man Standing family party game, in which you battle your friends and family in 16 minigames to decide a champion. They have 8 more days to go on the Kickstarter, so let's go ahead and help make this great game with awesome poker chips with great characters on them that's good for 8 years and up. Let's make it a reality by backing it on Kickstarter. It's on there through this next Thursday, the 6th of December. So you got 8 days to go to get on the front of this one. So check out Rotunda, Last Man Standing family party game. This episode of Getting Geeky with Gamer Life is also proudly being powered by Oddbods Go Cards. Oddbods Go Cards is a smart and quirky card-powered racing party game from the creators of our Vertigos flying ship game that we had on the podcast quite some time ago. And they're back with the fun and quirky characters of Oddbods, and this time Oddbods are on Go Cards. So you definitely want to check out this great game, as it'll be on Kickstarter for another 2 weeks as it goes through the 12th of December. So definitely check out Oddbods Go Cards and find out what the fun is in this great social party game. Now let's go ahead and dive into this interview, in which we join the creator of none other than Robogram, the card programming game, and Game Relief already in progress, shall we?
Getting Geeky with Gamer Leaf, the podcast in which one man strives to level up his geekhood and helping you do the same, one battle at a time. Now, let's get geeky with Gamer Leaf.
We all depend on technology to communicate, to bank, to socialise, but few of us know how to code. Meet Hakuto and Reika. Hakuto is 7 and Reika is 10, and like most kids, they love games. Their parents, like most parents, are concerned about the kind of games they play. But Hakuto and Reika are smart kids, and they have a secret. Hakuto and Reika are Robogrammers, where opponents battle for supremacy in the astounding world of Cyberbia. What's more, as Hakuto and Reika and their friends play, they are actually learning the fundamentals of real computer programming, coding, and problem solving, and therefore getting a head start in their studies to break their opponent's firewall. They will learn to use iterations, functions, and conditions to overcome their opponent's server using their wit and problem-solving skills. There are different computer languages to choose from, each with their own unique strengths and weaknesses. As they improve, our Robogrammers will learn about complex computer concepts, terms, and learn to understand what these mean. Help us give kids a head start on technology, and give your child a well-deserved present.
Did that sound familiar to you guys? It didn't to me neither, but this is a story of Robogram, the programming card game Reloaded, and today we're lucky enough to have on the creator mastermind behind this great game, Kornel. Is that correct, Kornel? Is that how you fit into Robogram, the programming card game Reloaded?
Yes, that's I'm the one who come up with the idea, and and try to bring it to fulfillment.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us on Getting Geeky with Gamerleaf. We really appreciate it, Kornel.
Yes, I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. Now, before we get into everything that's great about your game, let's rewind a little bit if we could. How did you get into playing tabletop board games, Kornel?
I started when I was a kid first with Ludo, and then later on Monopoly, Risk, and all kind of games, whatever I could get my hands on. And then after that, I got into role-playing gaming, so that's still on.
Okay, role-playing games. And then did you get into hobby games, hobby tabletop board games after a while too?
Yes, a little bit of that as well, the Warhammer and similar one.
Okay, awesome. And now creating the game, I know that takes a long time, so I don't know if do you get to play games much now?
Yes, I do play with my kids as well, and also with friends.
That's always fun. Do you have a favorite game?
I like strategies, so my favorite game is Risk.
Risk. Oh, I'm a big Risk fan. Every once in a while we have somebody on the show that likes Risk, or we ask them if they're comfortable divulging their strategy to the world. Would that be something you'd be comfortable with, Kornel?
Well, so my strategy in Risk, right?
Yes, please.
Start from Australia. I like to take over from there, and then try to grab out Asia if I can.
That's not too bad. I usually go for like North America, well, South America or Africa, and also Australia. My son, though, he goes straight for Asia.
I think straight is to go to Asia is a bit hard.
Yeah, me too. He ends up winning every time, though, somehow. I don't know how he does it, but I guess he's got a little bit more strategy than me or something. I don't know.
Yes,
but I like Risk a lot. But word on the street is you created a game that seems like it might be a little bit different than Risk. What can you tell us about Robogram, the programming card game reloaded, Kornel?
Yes, so this is a unique customizable card game, and the idea behind it is working as a programming language when you play the game. So it's also teaching people for programming. So the game is happening in the cyber world where players are programming their robot, and the robot is trying to destroy the opponent's firewalls.
Okay, so if we sat down to play your game, if we sat down to play Robogram, the programming card game reloaded, what does that look like? Like, what are our turns and how does play go down?
First, we set up, everybody has like a playmat, and we set up, you choose a robot from your deck, and also you place one firewall to the deck. That defends your server, and that's the main thing, to keep your server alive and bring down the opponent's server. And then you pull the cards, and then you start to get different cards. You get upgrades for the robots, you get programming cards, and event cards. The main cards are the programming cards. When you attack, you not attack the opponent robot, but the firewall. So there is no robot-to-robot fight ever happens. It's and when you have to program your robot, you look on the opponent firewall, which is how the game progresses. More and more cards getting on the board, and they are different. There is 3 different type. There is a software, a matter, and a energy-based firewalls. And the same way the attacking command cards have the 3 different types of energy, matter, and software. So one of the first thing, which is like a programming language, you have to defeat the firewall in the right order. So you have to order your cards when you build your program in the right order, which I think most of the people are getting really quickly. And the next step after that is the robots has a certain amount of memory, which is limited. So to how the opponent firewall grows and getting more and more defending card down, you need to you will run out of memory. So you have to use functions and iterations. These are cards as well, programming cards, which can run a program card or even a full function, which is multiple program cards, multiple times. And also you can nest them. So I can have a function, and within the function, another function. Within there, there is like objects as well, which is similar, works similar to functions, just have some plus as well on the side, and you can iterate the whole nested structure to bring down the firewall of the opponent. Also, you have conditions, so you can the conditions can detect what kind of firewall the opponent has, and depending on that, selects one or the another card. So if that one is iterated multiple times, it can maybe defeat in a certain pattern the opponent's firewall. When the opponent's firewall is done, then you damage the server. The server damage is permanent. We have some dices to show the hit points of the server, and then end of the turn, all the firewalls come back up. So the firewalls not get removed from the game; it's just getting stronger and bigger. So you will, every round, you need to rebuild your program. And also the defending player can, after end of the turn, they can reshuffle the firewall, change the order of it, make it harder for the opponent to break. So the game is very easy to at the start when you start, but hard to master because it has layers in it.
Okay, so easy to learn and hard to start, so that hard to get going on it. So that's awesome. It looks like a really cool game. So how does that go? How do people go from playing your game? It looks like it's supposed to teach them coding for a regular computer. Does it do that pretty well?
Yes, it's because the basic logic of the elements works as a programming language. I myself is a computer engineer, so I'm write code daily. So it was very, very important for me to follow the structures and the namings and a lot of words in very easily written down. We had a great writer who could grab these concepts and insert into the game.
Well, yeah, it looks pretty amazing.
We play tested it over 3 years. With from kids from 7-8 years old to IT people, and one of my surprise is I had a friend who absolutely was not a coder or a programmer. We played the game twice, and now he's studying computer science. He got inspired by the game.
Well, there you go. That's always nice. And during that play testing that you talked of, was there ever anything you had to scrap from the game just because it wouldn't work?
Yes, it's some of the abilities, event cards. Event cards you can play anytime, like they are a quite powerful one-off events, which is a bit works similarly how programming events happen. And some of these cards was way too strong. They could remove some firewalls, and then too much damage could get caused. So had to remove, tone down. I had we worked a lot on balance because hopefully we get there. Right now on the Kickstarter, the second stretch goal is actually adding 2 different decks. So it will be 2 different computer language if we get that stretch goal, and they are perfectly balanced. And the play style of the 2 is different.
Oh, okay, so it'll be more asymmetrical, like where people have different decks.
Yes, that's the goal, and definitely for the future is goal to introduce more. Right now there is 2 is ready. Depending on the Kickstarter, we can how successful it is, we can get 1 or 2 into the box. Hopefully, both of them. And yes, they are asymmetrical, and one of them is much more heavy hitter, but it had to use more cards to able to bring out uh, um, the damage, while the C++, I call them through the names of programming languages because they have similarities with how different languages have that. So the C++ and the Ruby DEX, and C++ DEX has more memory and but lower damage cards, but it's easier to combine them. So it can be much more accurately attack, not wasting cards to attack firewalls, while the another one is more heavy hitter. It needs a little time to build up, so it's different skill level. Maybe the two card set to play with.
Okay, awesome. And so anybody listening right now, make sure you go ahead and click on over that link and check it out. So if we haven't, by the time this releases, if we for some reason haven't reached the stretch goal, go ahead and show your support back it so we can get that second deck and make it more of an asymmetrical game so everybody can play with their own deck. That's awesome. Now, when it comes to Robogram, the programming card game, uh, Kornel, what would you say you're most proud of?
I think what I'm most proud of is how easily people could get into it, how kids could understand it, and how well. After 2-3 games, everybody was very clear and they could play without even checking the rules anymore. So I definitely could bring an easy accessible way programming closer to people, and also the game is quite fun in the meantime. So.
Awesome. Yeah, those are good reasons. And like you said, it inspired your friend to go into computer as well.
Yes, I'm quite surprised actually when he told me.
All from a game. That's pretty cool to get an inspiration from a game, let alone your game.
Yes, I hope I can do that for a lot of people and kids, especially.
Well, there you go. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Now, with all of the other games that are on Kickstarter currently, Cornell, what makes your game pop or stand out that one my audience should go check out and then back if they like what they see?
Yes, it has a beautifully drawn design and interesting story hidden on the cards, what you can put together. But I think the main thing is actually the system is unique. No other game like this is teaching programming on the way how is it done in Robogram, because it is very much following the structure. When you build up your cards, that actually is in the same structure how you would build up a program which you can execute on a computer.
Okay, awesome. And now maybe somebody looking at the Kickstarter, they might have noticed that you had previously had Robogram on Kickstarter. What did you change between the initial run and your reloaded run?
When we first tried, we was kind of very happy to we finished building the game and let's get out to people, but we didn't really build the right amount of interest. So that's what one of the things what we worked on in the last time. We was building interest, and we get some people excited about this one is coming. And also in the meantime, we was testing and improving the game, and we realized the end game sometimes can get very quickly destroyed. Like very few situations it's happened when there was 42 damage to the server, which it was eliminated in the end game. So we changed the board and the rules around there. So instead of having one dice and any kind of card can damage it, we now have 3 different dices, one for each type. So it's much harder to do a one-off eliminating hit in the end. So definitely the end game got much more interesting. and much easier to come up with defending strategy in the end game. In the middle and the beginning of the game, this was not a problem. Only in the end game. So that I'm very happy we could get that into the game now in the reloaded version.
And you talked about building interest. How did you go about doing that?
We tried to engage with people and involve more and more people through our Facebook page, our Twitter. We added Twitter page. We added our website. So we engaged more and more people through the site and started to build up more people around it who are interested and wanted.
Okay, that's awesome. And it looks like if somebody wants to see what other people thought about it, it looks like the Board Game Brawl did a review of your game.
Yes, they did. They did a review, and I think it's worth to watch. They was impressed about especially the depth of the game. Even if it's a game for learning and studying, it's still fun, and it has a depth and engaging. So
Okay, well, that's always good. So that's awesome that you can learn with the game. Now, minus coming over there to the UK to stalk you, how would people go about keeping up with you and the game, your game, and what you have going on? How can they follow you online?
we have our Facebook page and Twitter, and also our website, robogram.online. I think those are the main way.
Okay, we'll make sure we leave links in the show notes so they can just click over. I know we're focused on Robogram right now. We got to get through this Kickstarter, but do you have anything in your back pocket that you might be coming out with later on?
So yes, this is just the tip of the iceberg. I'm already working on the assembly deck, which would be a low-level programming deck, which would be quite different style to play than the another two decks. And we planning already a fourth deck, which called the script deck, which would be a much more stronger but a complicated to play deck for experts. And also how we developed the game, we started to realize we actually built a world as well, Cyberbia, where all the characters and robots exist. And definitely we want to work on that more, maybe bring out short stories and build a little bit more around the world of Robogram. And also we was looking on maybe getting some kind of computer version of the game.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So like an app or a computer game of Robogram?
Yes, that's on planning phase at the moment.
Well, that'd be fun. So it sounds like you got a lot in store for us when it comes to Robogram. But first, we've got to make sure this Kickstarter goes through. So anybody listening, make sure you jump over, click on the link so you can come and check out Robogram, the programming card game reloaded that'll be on Kickstarter through Saturday, the 15th of December. So yeah, we definitely want to make sure people come and check that out. We'll leave all the links in the show notes. But yeah, we don't want to keep you all night. I know you got to get home to your family and whatnot, but we really appreciate you taking time out of your night to come join us on Getting Geeky with Game Relief to talk all about Robogram, the programming card game reloaded. We really appreciate it, Kornel.
It was my pleasure.
Yeah, no problem.
What is this place? What is it doing here in the Leaves computer? Oh, it's Kickstarter Corner with the Leaves.
Well, this one's almost over. The Fumblecrit Wars game. At the time of this recording, it had 67 hours to go, so it really depends on when we're able to get this episode up. But a little bit about the Fumblecrit Wars game is it's a 2-player fast and fun dice rolling game where the object is to wipe out each other's warband first. It's a cool blend of Dungeons and Dragons, war, and battleship for 8 and up, and it takes about 15 to 20 minutes. So if you want a cool game, definitely check this one out as it's on Kickstarter through Friday, the 30th of November at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and this project funded in 8 hours. And now it's your chance to back the fun and get the Fumblecrit Wars game on Kickstarter for a short time now. Next up, Scarabs and Scorpions. Some daring desert dice games from Tony Ripley. Tony used to make craft games and sell them at game conventions around the southeastern United States, but is starting his journey into the dynamic and lively world of board games on the Kickstarters. For his first offering, Tony has created a new edition of one of his original games, Scarabs and Scorpions, and managed to get it all into a standard-sized mint tin. This new edition includes a second multiplayer game and a standalone solo game, so it's really 3 games in one. The first 50 game level pledges are guaranteed to get their games before Christmas. This actually makes a great stocking stuffer, a gift for college student, or even a military service member. As of this morning, or a couple mornings ago, Scarabs and Scorpions campaign just hit its funding goal, and they've still got 6 more days to go. Tony has plans for at least 2 campaigns in 2019, so get in now so you can stay in the know. Next, did you catch our interview the other day? Yesterday, in fact. Necrotopia Handbook to the Apocalypse? Well, if you didn't, don't worry, we'll leave a link in the show notes to the campaign, and you can just go to the one of the updates they released yesterday, which is called Great Interview with Keenan Dunham, the creator of Necrotopia, on Game Relief. That's the name of the update from the 27th of November, and you can listen to our interview. Necrotopia, it's a pen and paper role-playing game. They're releasing a complete 30-page color rule set book with an original artwork RPG. And like I said, you can go listen to our interview, find out a little bit more about it, and then come back and back this great game of role-playing, as this project will be on the Kickstarter for another week, going through Wednesday the 5th of December. So check out Necrotopia Handbook to the Apocalypse, Book 1 on the Kickstarter. Next, we've got Glyph Chess, the Magic board game, which is a tactical style board game which can only be played by the most powerful wizards. Think of chess with magic. And you know what? In case you missed it, we actually had an interview with the creators of Glyph Chess as well. And you know what? It's a really easy update to find. It was on the 19th of November, and it's called Podcast with Game Relief. They make it easy, don't they? So last but not least is a game called Natural Selection. It's a fun educational board game that is suited for players of all ages. A game of dominance, survival, and sentience. We're going to have the creator of this game on the show in about next week. So you'll want to make sure you're subscribed to Getting Geeky with Game Relief so you can listen along with that, and they might be getting a review done by everythingboardgames.com. But in the meantime, you should definitely check out the Natural Selection board game by Sentient Games. It's a fun educational game that teaches the process of natural selection in nature. Each player begins as a single-cell organism and competes against other players to adapt and survive natural events. You've heard of survival of the fittest? Well, you get to do just that in this board game, and you can choose to be a carnivore, omnivore, or herbivore. Which one would you choose? Anyways, you should definitely check out Natural Selection. That'll be on the Kickstarter through Monday, the 7th of January. Now it's our least favorite time, your least favorite time. Time for us to get on with our lives, you to get on with yours. In the meantime, I hope you'll go ahead and get geeky, stay geeky, and bring others in the geekfold Game Relief out.
Game Relief levels up. Tune in next week to to see if Gamer Leaf's luck holds up.